Okay, let me share. Okay, can you see this?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. And the recording is on, and I'm gonna hope the audio is good and works out. Uh, so let's get
Knocking
to it.
on wood.
Yeah, so it looks like the top 8 matches are the April Mirror, Necroticus versus April, the Transmogrify deck versus Mono Black, and Twin versus April.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Transmogrify? Excuse me?
I lost to that in, I guess, the second round, and I was just like, what is happening? Well, game one, they played Valaka and then played 10 lands in a row, and I just died because I had like 5 removal spells in my hand. I just couldn't do anything.
Wait, so the idea is you use Dwarven Mine plus Valakut? Like, Valakut is the long game plan. Dwarven Mine gets you Sarah Emissary or Iona? Like,
Uh,
what's the plan?
Iona, yeah. Which is also
Mm-hmm.
unbeatable for April because all of your relevant cards are black.
Yep, yep, yep.
So it was very, very rough. Um, I am wondering if Coop. How do we pronounce the April player's name? Do you know?
Kupudis, or I call him
Coopudis?
Coop.
Okay. We'll,
I call him
we'll
Copetus.
we'll go with Coop, and hopefully that's it right. I do wonder. So my belief is that the tech for April is Pack Rat. I think it's actually just like the best card you can have. I don't know if they have it in the board, but I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Oh, a really interesting decision here from Sopwith. Getting third island instead of a basic mountain. Presumably that implies there's a red source in hand because you need 2 red to cast Splinter Twin.
And we're just slamming an April here into open mana, and it resolves. Oh my goodness.
I bet you there's a Pestermite plus.
Oh yeah,
There's a
that actually makes a
Pestermite.
lot of sense. That's like the twin matchup can be kind of rough because of this, because like you don't really want to play your cards into mana because of invert polarity, but also they have the combo, and it's just like hard to deal with everything. Oh, they actually don't have it.
What?
Maybe their hand is
So
just bad. I don't know.
must be, right? Like their hand must be like 4 Pestermites.
I guess so. That's huge for Coop here because untapping with April. I mean, that's the name of the game, right? That's all you want to do.
Yeah, for sure. It's so cool. But like this is a card that, Spike has played sometimes in Modern, but down here in Penny Dreadful, it is just one of the best things to Dark Ritual out because not only does it draw a card the turn it comes down, the Dark Ritual you use to cast it draws a card, and then every spell you cast from there on out draws a card for free.
Yeah, it's just incredible.
I wonder if Coop's gotta have a colored source in hand here, right? Like, okay, yeah, there it is. Although, if our suspicions are correct and Sopwith has just like 4 more Pestermites in hand, uh, not entirely convinced that a single swamp is going to be able to carry the day in terms of not dying to the combo. But if Sopwith didn't have it last turn, they probably won't have it this turn either.
True. They could have made, I guess, the interesting play of if you play nothing, and then on their end step you put Blast Zone to 3, and that's another card that can threaten to interrupt the combo. It's not great at it because it's expensive and can get tapped, but it's an option.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely just down to cycle Disfigure. That's kind of what you get to do with April, right? It's just all right, do. I'm gonna cast my 3 mana 2/1 that would be able to kill one of your creatures, but instead is only going to draw me 2 cards. Like you can't even invert polarity this. Well, you can. It just won't help you at all.
They do have an opt in the graveyard. I guess they could have cast that.
I am curious if you win the flip
Oh,
on a proxy, do you get the enter trigger? Because technically you didn't cast it, your opponent cast it.
that's actually a really good point. I think you're right. I think you wouldn't get it.
Huh.
I know
Go
sometimes
figure.
cards are weird where, like, these sorts of phrases don't do exactly what they say they do because they're just trying to shortcut, but this seems pretty clear cut. I would bet you're not supposed to get it.
Yeah, that would be neat. Okay, so either that Ancestral Visions was the draw for turn, or Sopwith's Dig Through Time was not very good.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, I can't imagine ever taking the Ancestral Visions on the Dig Through Time over, like, Invert Polarity or, heck, even Spell Pierce would probably be better here. Like, if the game lasts 3 more turns, it's going to be kind of rough.
oh, and we get a duress here, which is going to show us what we've got. So the hand is Island, Splinter Twin, Ether Spike, Vibrant Outburst. That is pretty bad.
Yeah, you just rip the twin here, right? Like,
Yeah, neither of the other cards do anything really, so you might as well.
oh no, where am I going to get all of this colorless mana with my double filter land blast zone mana base?
Yeah, and Coop agrees. I think I'm gonna miss this April deck. It was really fun. I'm gonna have some
Yeah,
good memories though.
yeah, for sure. It's a I didn't play the April deck, but like I like the play patterns that it elicits. And it's one of those things where like if I had known it was going to be so popular, I definitely would have teched it into it and brought I don't know, Enduring Ideal probably has a phenomenal April matchup, if I had to guess. Just like literally anything that doesn't have creatures.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. Um, okay, I've been told I'm a little quiet. I'm not 100% sure how to fix that. Um, so I think I could try changing what the microphone is. I don't know. Let me know if at any point I sound louder. Um, and
Yeah,
if I
for sure.
don't, then I guess I'm out of
Just
ideas.
yeah, you were also a little quiet when we were chatting in the Tom Sonic U commentator couch kind of area, but it, legible.
Okay. I will bring my computer closer to my head and we will see if that does anything.
Yeah, did well. I'm also just very loud in general. Okay, Dark Ritual. Invoke
Oh,
Despair?
wow.
Were you running Invoke Despair?
I was not. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. Um, I mean, it's certainly got a very powerful effect, and it's very castable because there's only like three non-black sources in the deck, so it seems like a decent option at least.
Yeah, that's fair. And it kind of goes back to the okay, looking at the metagame, the mono black deck also leverages Dark Ritual plus card draw engines plus a bunch of removal spells. And then Invoke Despair is just a very powerful card to play. And so Personally, I think it makes a lot of sense to cast or to just take the mono black tech and put it in here. I do wonder what else I would run over it. I've seen some people run Palantir for Thong. That seems pretty good. And I guess you're kind of sore out of luck for enchantment removal otherwise.
Yeah, I was on a Phyrexian arena, which I guess is probably roughly the same slot. Um, I also we see the blast zone in play. This was something that I added to the deck. I think this is like the one thing that I could say is my contribution, um, which is like the answer to artifacts and enchantments because there isn't really another one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's also the answer of Spell Pierce, but
True, true.
uh,
That's the best
yeah,
answer. But
yeah.
in case everything goes terribly,
In case it ends up being turn 8 and you don't somehow have Forbid in your 10 card hand, uh, then Blasphemy will get there. Okay, win conditions online.
yep,
We got the
looks like
Hall.
we're all done. Because Coop also looked at the hand with oil deep, so they know if there's anything there, and presumably there's nothing, and that's going to be game.
Yeah. I mean, technically, there's only 7 power, 14 if you count the Hall. But I imagine one of these Profane Tutors is getting a Forbid, and the other one is getting, I don't know, Spell Pierce.
Yeah, yeah. You could even just like get a duress and check if they have anything. Okay, they have a Malcolm.
Well, that means they're technically not dead yet.
Not yet. Oh, there's another profane tutor.
Okay.
So now you just get a disfigure, and the hall comes to life, and then you smack him in the face.
Smack smack. Dark Rituals, because why not? Oh, Invoke Despair also gets the job done.
Ah, true. I'd be a
Oh,
bit
no.
surprised if they were on two. Oh, they're on two. All right, never mind. I was proven wrong with incredible speed.
That's the only way I've ever been proven wrong in my entire life. It happens a lot. Right. Takes game one. It also would have been very funny if the Dark Rituals were just for activating Hall of the Storm Giants while keeping up Forbid.
All right. While we wait for them to port, I'm just gonna hop in and look at some of the other matches. I don't know if you want to stick on this one, or maybe we can switch and see something else. Um,
So Aethervile versus Magnus is currently in progress. I think it's game one. We're on turn 9. There's a Necrotic Ooze in play and a Buried Alive on the stack.
let's see. Yep. Is that
7
gonna
cards in
be
hand for
game?
Magnus.
I assume. I did lose this matchup I played versus Necrotic Ooze, and I lost 2-1. I think it's kind of tough because, especially game one, you just don't have enough interaction. Here, let me share this one. Um,
Yeah, for sure. The Reanimator deck does kind of require respect.
yeah, I definitely did not respect it in game. We made it to game three. I was on the draw. I kept a hand that just, I don't know. I shouldn't have kept it. I don't know what I was thinking, but they just kind of ran me over.
Yeah, I mean, it's also one of the things where it's not too hard to beat him in deck building. But if you're teching against Twin and Boros Legends and all the various other bits and pieces, then uh, yeah, it, it does just kind of eat your lunch.
I cut Scarab Feasts from my sideboard. I used to be on like two or three, and I cut one this morning because I was like, I'm not gonna play against a Reanimator. Who's gonna do it? And that did not work out too well.
It's the classic PD 500 experience.
Oh yeah. All right. Yep. It looks like the Buried Alive was enough to get it done. Um,
Hmm.
let's go ahead. Shall we pop in on the April mirror and see what's going on?
Oh,
Okay. It looks like we are still in game one because we're on turn number 12, and that's a very game one coded kind of turn.
I still think my favorite interaction with April so far is when I played against April with like a Teamer Battle Crier combo deck. And you know what's better than a 4 mana April?
Tell me.
3 mana to copy somebody else's April. Because Phyrexian Metamorph sure does that
Oh,
and draws 2 cards. But
incredible.
yeah, so Resto's April stuck. Might die here
Yes.
though. Like that certainly looked like someone tapping for. Oh no,
Yeah, this does not look good for freeze pop. I'm gonna go with freeze pop. I'm assuming that's how it's supposed to be said.
sounds good to me.
It looks like Resto Kiki is on April or on Malcolm's. I know this was something that was a bit contentious. I was very much in the camp of don't play Malcolm. Um,
Interesting. What's the reasoning there?
uh, I didn't like it because it just like all your other 2 mana cards are sorceries, so you can't like threaten a counterspell ever because you don't have any. Um,
Hmm.
and it also just felt very low impact. I mean, you can see Resto Kiki's gone 33 cards in the deck, and Malcolm, like multiple Malcolms lose a lot of value, and they also provide targets for cheap removal, like Disfigure,
True.
that you're ordinarily extremely strong against.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. I will have you know that just briefly mentioning that Lost Legacy naming Iona has resolved against M-Dog's Valakut Transmogrify list.
Wow.
The whoa. Okay, Resto is cycling the Disfigure there. So this game is looking like it's going to go Resto's way over first pop. However, it is important to note that first pop is up 2 minutes. And as we saw in, I think, round six, it was, time is a real win condition in this matchup.
That's definitely true.
So, yeah, like if I'm Resto here, I'm probably firing up one tar pit and attacking with everything and not thinking too hard about what could be in first pop's hand. Like I've got 6 cards in a forbid.
I agree with that play. And it looks like they do as well. Yeah, you could just run
Ooh,
both of them even.
2 tar pits. I guess that is lethal, huh? Hmm. Into a disfigure. But tar pit's going to be lethal next turn.
Yeah, this is probably going to be over. Um, I guess we'll stay here for just a second to see the conclusion, and then we can swap over to another match. Yep, okay, that's game. Let's watch. Let's go back to the first match, I guess. Twin versus April. How does that sound?
Sure. I'm keeping tabs on all of them.
Okay. Let's go.
I don't know. I kind of want to watch this mono black versus
Oh yeah. Okay.
dwarf token Valakut. See.
Let's bring this up. We've got. I don't know what game it is. Did you see who won game one? Presumably, we're in game two.
I did not see who won the first game.
All right. Well, I guess we will find out at the end of this one.
For sure. Nevinyrral's disc in play, untapped, ready to eat an Obliterator and a Glitter Blossom, and a poor helpless Dwarf token. I guess if your Nevinyrral's disc is just take 6 damage, take an extra turn, I'd probably just never pop it. But M-Dog knows what's in their hand better than I do, so probably there's just a second disc that's ready to pop. Ooh, that's a good
Here
reason
come
to
the
not take
invokes.
6 there.
Yeah, that worked out very well. Or, I mean, better than it would have been had they not.
Yeah. Yeah, this is actually how Roboton got me. We played in round 7. Is the game was grindy. I took a little bit of damage here and there. I was activating my last ride to draw some cards. And then they hit me with the old ritual of soot away all your creatures, deal you 6 with a invoke despair.
Yeah. I I remember playing Shadow Crimes versus Mono Black, and that just felt so difficult.
It was actually not too bad. Like I think the matchup is somewhat favored in chat. Okay,
Oh, here
Valakut
we are.
has entered the chat.
5 turn clock, we're doing it.
You know, sometimes 5 turn clock is all you need, especially in the control mirror.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like Roboton doesn't have any creatures here, or else they would have played one last turn, so.
Hey, quick question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
Does Dimir April have any answer to a Void Winnower?
Uh, Depends on the list, but not really.
Yeah, because Reanimator sure did just put one in play on turn 2 here.
Yep. Uh, it is possible if you play like Arch Enemy's Charm, that can hit it, but I don't think there's anything else.
Yeah, checks out. Meanwhile, the Valakut clock is ticking down over here in this game,
Oh,
and
two
two
Valakuts?
Valakuts.
I mean, that is actually probably just game. Like, how are you going to beat this?
Yeah, like you need. Okay, there is 9 mana on Roboton's side of the board. So the answer to how you beat this is I'm going to cast an Invoke Despair, and then I'm going to cast another Invoke Despair. And then my opponent will be at -1 life.
And I didn't notice this at first, but they do have a Profane Tutor coming up next turn, so that can get the ball rolling, and then I guess you just have to draw into it.
Yeah, I suppose so. Perforos's intervention in the graveyard. Pretty fun.
Here's a chainsaw. This Plague Engineer has named Rat. I don't. Are there any rats in the mono red deck? I don't.
Maybe Song of Totemaz is in the deck?
Oh, that's a good call.
Yeah, that does seem like a fireball that you could play pretty easily. In like a 2 mana creature for Transmogrify.
Oh, and we have an update.
So
Magnus has won the match with Necroticus against Dimir April, 2-0.
for sure. And the answer to the question, does April have an answer to Void Winter? Where the answer is no. So there you have it. Oh, okay. They're playing actual Transmog and also Luca Coppercoat Outcast. That makes a lot more sense.
Actually, looking at this top 8, I feel like Necroticus is really well positioned. Like, you're pretty good into April. You're probably good into whatever this mono red deck is. Like, I'm kind of liking the Necroticus chances here.
Yeah, I think Twin matchup is probably bad. But
Yeah.
other than that, yeah, for sure. Like if April can take down Twin, then Ooze can get I think, has it won yet? I feel like it should have won by now.
What do you mean?
Like I know I want to kick off with it, but I don't know if it's won the 500 yet.
I don't know. There was that event. What was it? The Super Saturday, where it was like the 18-0 Necronicus deck. Um, which is certainly, I mean, it's the most impressive tournament win I think maybe anyone has ever had. But
Yeah, for sure. Especially in a tournament of that size. Like
yeah,
6 rounds of Swiss, 3 rounds of Villains. Mm. And in the meantime, we've got two Valakuts in play. M-Dog is at 7 life. How did that happen?
uh, it looks like an invoke did get cast. I wonder if they had something to say. Oh, they had the Luca to sacrifice to it.
Oh, Luca. Oh my god. That is honestly the best way.
Oh my god, they found another one.
Okay,
Oh, the Luca saved them. M Dog missed a land
exactly.
drop, but the Luca is gonna keep him at 1. And now Roboton needs the 4th invoke to get it done.
I mean,
Obliterator.
Obliterator is fine here, but I don't know if it's going to be good enough.
We'll
It does
see.
present the one turn clock.
Can M Dog top deck a mountain? Okay, hold. Transmog the Obliterator.
What
So
do
like,
you even want to hit here?
I guess like if you hit an unstoppable slasher and you have like a 3 damage spell, then you could kill it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, another chainsaw would get the job done, I suppose.
We'll
But
see if they
not.
have a 4 damage spell for Preacher here. We also have an update. Twin and April are going to game 3.
Beautiful. And Resto versus First Pop. The Malcolm, I'm telling you, man, this Malcolm's winning this game single-handedly.
It honestly, like, the place where Malcolm is good is post board against the blue decks, because you have to cut
Yes.
Disfigure because it sucks, and then the Malcolm actually becomes good. So like, yeah, this is the place for Malcolm if you're gonna have it.
Yeah, exactly. And like, okay, I see you. And so M-Dog, going back to this game for a moment, M-Dog has cast a Dragon's Fodder to be able to chump block the Preacher of the Schism, which makes sense. And that makes the Transmogrify make a lot more sense. However, this Profane Tutor is coming off of Suspend. Have all 4 invoked? No, only
It's
3
just
invoked
3, so I
spells
think
in
that's
the
gonna get the
cast.
4th one, and that's gonna be game, and we will see if it's the match because I do not know. Presumably they have 4 in their deck, and they didn't cut one.
Do we know if they were out of Ionas because they transmogged the
Yes,
Obliterator, but they could have
the Ionis got
transmogged
hit
their.
with Lost Legacy.
Oh,
Yes.
that's unfortunate.
All right.
Yeah, so
Go
that
to
was game. So
three.
we're gonna go to game 3 over there as well. Shall we stick here or
Interesting.
jump to another one?
We can jump to the April mirror.
All right. Thank you for indulging me. I'm
So
just,
it looks like Malcolm has finally left the table.
which match is it? It's this
Oh,
one,
first pop Resto Kiki.
I think. I'm trying to make sure I select the right window. All right, looks good.
I believe this is game 3, but I'll double check.
Um,
Oh no, this is game 2.
yes.
So Resto Kiki is up 1-0.
Here's a Gear Hulk. Actually, pretty good here, I bet.
Yeah, I think so.
Because this
At
is
a minimum, like you're up 3 minutes. So anything that makes it harder for your opponent to kill you can only benefit you.
Yeah, and you get to look if they have a good card advantage spell, you get to take it, like this April. And if they don't, then you get to just do nothing and their hand is bad. And I think that works out well either way. Um,
For sure.
unless, of course, they have two Aprils, in which case there's kind of nothing you can do.
Yeah. But if they had two Aprils, surely they would have played one by now, right?
Likely.
End of the Hunt, surprisingly good in this meta.
Oh, yeah, I think this card did really well over the season.
Yeah, especially in the kind of the near matches where you really need your 2 mana removal spells to hit black creatures and exile. Well, I guess that's more relevant for the mono black mirror, but um, turns out sorcery speed exiling without targeting is better than instant speed destroying with targeting in this particular metagame.
And here we see a Phyrexian Arena, which is, I think, a very good card here. Yeah, Resto Kiki just has all the pressure and the card advantage.
We're seeing a tar pit trade for a 2/1.
I believe it's a 4/3. It somehow got, like, it was like Dark Ritualed out.
Or maybe Malcolm.
Oh my gosh, is this Arch Enemy's Charm for counters?
Okay,
That's actually
well,
huge. Like, what are you going to do about this?
there is a profane tutor in exile, and I guess there's your answer to what
That
you
was
do
that
about
was a
this.
really important draw.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because now you don't have to get removal with Profane Tutor, assuming Resto Kiki doesn't play anything. You could go get, I don't know, what do you go get? Court, maybe,
April.
if they're on Court? But they can't cast Court.
Oh, that's awkward. So you probably just get April here, right?
I guess. And just hope it survives.
Yeah.
I
That
mean,
is
with-
the downside of End of the Hunt, is that, you know, if your opponent plays in April, they get to draw 2-3 cards before you can remove it.
We do see that the Hagramog, the Arch Enemy's Charm, and the Forbid have all already been played. So it's highly likely that if you get April, like, you're going to get one card draw off it. And that might be enough to get you back in the game. In the long term, you could use the Blast Zone to blow up the arena and maybe get somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if I'm first pop here, I'm definitely just ripping the April and
Yep, there it is.
take my 3-for-1s while we can get them. Okay. And Malcolm again, just looking phenomenal here. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. Oh, we also have a Profane Tutor here for Resto Kiki. I must have missed that. And we're casting it right now. That's... yeah. That's very
I think
good.
the answer to what do you get off of this profane tutor, probably the same. Just to slam your April, draw 2 cards, plus the one that you got from the arena. I guess with first pop being so low resources, it's possible it's correct to just kill the opponent's April.
I think I like that idea. Put him... get the squeeze. Or just... yeah. That works too.
Yeah. What did we see off the duress?
Let's take a look. Swamp and Raven Eagle. So they whiffed, but there's not too much. I guess Raven Eagle's kind of good here.
You do get to draw a card. Drain for 1. Stay alive a little bit longer.
Yeah, and you can put the Blast Zone to 3 here, and then blow up the arena next turn if you want. So, I don't like freeze pop's chances, but they're not 0. Oh, Oh, we're going to court. That was a court off the top. That could actually be huge here if you get to keep the
Yeah,
monarchy.
yeah, like I guess critical draw step for first pop here. If they have an end of the hunt,
Although,
then
like honestly, if you trade court for the monarchy and both players just get an extra card every turn, that's not the worst case if you're the player who's low on resources, because you at
also,
least get to do something.
yeah, for sure. Also, remember, court, the upkeep ability draws you a card from your opponent's deck always. You just get to free cast it. Like it makes you mana
Yeah,
if you're if the monarch, but otherwise it still just draws you an extra card. And as we were talking about before, blue black notably does not have a whole lot of ways to deal with enchantments.
it's absolutely true.
So suddenly, somehow,
And they don't have
like this
removal.
game,
Wait, I actually think Freeze Pop's winning here.
yeah, that's
That's
crazy.
wow. And they hit a proxy. Oh, oh my god. Free proxy, flashback a profane tutor, or end it, or anything you want. Get 3 more cards on your end step, plus the monarch. Oh my god, this is an incredible turnaround.
Yeah, wow. If I'm first pop here, I definitely just hit the end of the hunt. Take out the April.
And
Oh wow.
concede for time reasons. I support that. That's actually a good idea. Like,
Yeah,
they are
for sure.
totally right for doing that.
Yeah.
Alright.
Meanwhile, April's looking like it's cooking the twin deck, and although Niv Mizzet Perun has hit the board, so who
Shall
knows?
we shall we look at the twin deck, or do you want to see mono red versus mono black?
Um, Mono Red versus Mono Black, I think, can sit on the back burner for a little bit here. I think
Alright.
this game is going to go pretty long. So let's take a look at the twin matchup.
Okay, so we are in game 3 here. We've got a Niv Mizzet on the stack. The twin player's at 6 life. The Preacher beatdown is actually doing real work here.
Yeah, it, there are two creatures. They both have Death Touch. You can't like Niv Mizzet is a 5/5, which is able to block the April, but is not able to block the creatures. And oh boy, and now your Malcolm's down, so you can't even block with your
This
Malcolm
is
plus Glamourmite.
oh, so we're very close to lethal with the Tar Pit, because that forces both creatures to be blocked and you get in for 5. But that's still a guaranteed win because you kill their whole board and put them to 1, and there's no way the twin deck can come back from that. I don't think.
Yeah, for sure. Especially, yeah, because you get to keep the Preacher, you get to keep your April, you get to keep your Vampire token, and you get to keep the Tar Pit. So you'll have 4 lethal attackers, one of which is immune to sorcery speed removal next turn. And then just to give you an idea of what's going on Robotan's side of or on the mono black versus Valakut matchup. So there was a plague engineer naming Horror to stop the Urbrask's Forge from making creature tokens. However, the Urbrask's Forge has kept ticking up all the while, and so now the plague engineer is dead, and M-Dog is attacking with a 6/1 hasty trampling Phyrexian Horror token.
Oh my wait. Okay, the other update. MDog apparently switched out Iona for Ulamog, the Infinite Gyre, as the Transmogrify token, and attacked with it. And that's where the Plague Engineer went, and also why MDog has nothing in their graveyard.
Beautiful. And Coop finding the line here to attack for lethal in the Quinn versus Dimir April matchup. You just cast the Arcane Proxy flashback and removal spell on the Glamourmite, and now, regardless of how soft with blocks, they take 6 and die.
Alright, let's hop over then and take a look at the mono red matchup, which will probably finish before the twin mirror.
I think so. Like, talking about kind of Dimir April's inability to remove artifacts and enchantments, M-Dog taking full advantage of that in, like, mono.
Yeah. It looks like we've got a race here, because M-Dog, this Urbrask's Forge probably kills in 2 turns, but it looks like Roboton can also kill in 2 turns. So, this one might be pretty close. Though I think Roboton actually has 7 cards in hand, so I think they've definitely got the advantage. Oh, and in the Twin Mirror, just a quick update, we've got a turn 2 April, it looks like, for Freeze Pop, or perhaps it was turn 3, but there is no answer from Resto Kiki, so this is a resolved April just doing its thing. Here comes the attack with the Forge token. I'm assuming it'll get blocked by the lifelinker, or I guess just killed, that works too. Um, and unless M-Dog has something, that looks like it's going to be game for mono black. Yep, and that's it. So mono black moves into the top 4.
Yeah, and so as we were talking about, there's not a whole lot of graveyard hate running around these days. And so my money would be on Magnus. The mono black player does have the option to go like Dark Ritual into Unstoppable Slasher and put a clock down. But barring that, like Phyrexian Obliterator you don't care about. You kind of care about End of the Hunt in that it can take down one of your Sarah's Emissary or whatever, but it is sorcery speed, and so you can just start by Buried Alive for your combo creatures, and then cast a Necrotic Ooze and combo off. Okay, but Roboton has kept a hand with Profane Tutor. I guess Archenemy's Charm is pretty much the only way that this mono black deck has of interacting.
Yeah, well, we're about to see if they can stop this, because, yeah, this is going to be game on turn 4 if they get a Necrotic Ooze and can cast it.
Well,
And
can't
notably,
you just like thin the ooze and then reanimate it with the Scourge and the Asmodeus and then churn through their deck and get Origmus?
Yeah, they certainly can. So they've gone for Necrotic Ooze and Scourge Familiar, but also Sarah's Emissary. So that kind of suggests they have it in hand, yeah.
Yeah.
And that way, even if there's some kind of answer for the Necrotic Ooze, I guess you can bring out Sarah's Emissary, but I don't know. Yeah, it's just an unstoppable slasher, and yeah, that's going to be game.
Yeah.
Assuming they actually have it. I can't imagine they would do this if they didn't have it, but...
Well, the Profane Tutor finds it persist.
Yes. Gonna open up...
How many copies of Profane Tutor are they running?
I want to say 3? Well, I guess you can check.
Yeah.
Are the lists up?
Nope. I just have ultimate cosmic power.
There it is.
Yeah,
Yep.
3 profane tutors. And notably, Disfigure does technically kill the Necrotic Ooze after it's drawn its first 7 cards.
Yeah.
That is true. So it looks like that's going to be the game here. Shall we swap over and check on the other match?
Sure.
We'll probably end up spending more time for the moment on the mono black matchup because I guarantee that will go faster. But while they're sideboarding, we can take a look here.
Okay, dueling creatures. Notably, first pop's creature gets to attack first, but the mana is kind of awkward here. If you have an End of the Hunt in hand to get rid of Coop's creature so you can attack with impunity, you can't currently cast it.
Yeah, they do need a 4th land. We'll see if they're
any
able to
land
find it.
would do it.
Let's see. It is also notable, Coop is only on 2 cards. It looks like they Dark Ritualed out in April. I think I missed exactly what happened. But,
Yeah, Dark Ritual out in April. There's an End of the Hunt in the graveyard. My guess is what just happened here is End of the Hunt got the April, and then Coop drew a duress that they cast, and then it whiffed. Like, that's the only way that there is no other.
oh,
creature
right.
cards in the graveyard.
That makes sense here. I think we actually might have come in as the... Yeah, we came in as the duress was being cast, seeing 2 lands, April Preacher, Gearhulk, Proxy. So somehow they were sitting on 4 creatures.
Very interesting. If it were me, I might have just asked the proxy to use the End of the Hunt to get rid of the preacher here. I know you don't draw a card right away, but I would prefer to just maximize the number of. Oh no.
Oh, that's not a good sign.
No, it isn't. Like, if you cast Proxy here, it doesn't get any value. And in fact, it gets almost negative value because it exiles one at the end of the hunt. Well, and also draws 2 cards with April.
Yeah.
I guess that's pretty important to...
It's still like an ancestral on your 2. Or you could just play Oil, see if that works too. And
Yep.
I can't imagine this game is gonna... I mean, it's gonna take a couple more turns, but it looks like we're all but done here.
Yeah. Yep.
So once, well, we'll see what happens here, and then I think we may switch to the Necrotica's game once that starts, because that will probably go a lot faster.
For sure.
And we're gonna see April again in the finals, so I'm okay with holding off on that for a second.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and importantly, we know that the only graveyard hate in Rubicon's deck is 3 copies of Erebos' Intervention. But Magnus does not know that. And so it's possible that Magnus is going to bring in some things like Soul Partition and other answers to permanent-based graveyard hate that are just irrelevant. And I've had a lot of times fighting with and against Necrotic Ooze where you board in your anti-hate cards, and then that's just what you draw. Like, the core engine doesn't get online because you draw all of your sideboard cards instead. So I wouldn't call it yet. I definitely think it's favored for Magnus, but who knows? We'll see.
Alright, it looks like they are just about to start, so perhaps we will hop over there. I don't think... Yeah, it looks like an Invoke Despair came out, but I don't think that's going to change too much about the direction that this game is going. And in fact, if there was a land, this game would have been over right now, but there's not, so
Yeah.
we'll have to wait till next turn. Let's take a look at what's going on in the other side. Here we are.
Speaking of kind of non-functional hands, Magnus is mulled to 5 here, and
Hmm.
Roboton has a turn 1 unstoppable slasher. I think, like, if there's a setup that allows Magnus to lose this game, it's probably this one.
I think so. And
Although,
and we see a duress, and I believe I've done the math, and slasher kills on turn 3, but I might have had that wrong.
nah, it's turn 4.
You go to 9, and then you go to 3. Well, you go to 9 and then 3 and then 0, right? Or am I wrong about that?
Yes. But you don't
Oh yeah,
attack on the
oh yeah,
first turn.
turn 4. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right.
Yeah. So it is a very good clock here. Notably, all of that anti-graveyard hate permanent cards. Oh.
Yeah, we saw the hand was a pair of necrotic oozes, a profane tutor which got discarded, and a persist. So there's nothing going on for Magnus here, and yeah, like you said, this is how Mono Black wins the matchup.
Yeah, for sure. Tough multiplier.
Right, and we're already done with 2 games.
Beautiful. Quickest top 8 in the history of top 8s.
We're gunning for it. And the April Mirror did end with a win for Freeze Pop as we expected, and a relatively quick one at that. Though it will perhaps slow down post board. Though we will see. Looks like we're sideboarding on both sides. I'm just gonna stick with the Necroticus deck then,
Yeah, for sure.
because they will probably get into it relatively quick, and then we can see the conclusion of this.
Yeah, looking at the Necroticus sideboard, there are 3 soul partitions in the sideboard, and a Palantir Orphan. Also an Angel of Sanctions, and a Void Winnower. I don't know. I mean, probably this is why Magnus has piloted this deck to the top 4, and I didn't pilot to the top 4. I don't know what would come in here.
Yeah, I had the same reaction looking at the Necroticus deck when I was thinking about it. Like looking at the Arcanus and what I don't know what you're supposed to do with that. I don't know what the plan was. Maybe they have a better idea than I do. Um,
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
I was trying to think like what do you use? When do you bring in the Arcanus? Like, is it you're expecting 0 removal?
I mean, well, so the idea is you can put the ability on a Necroticus, right, and then tap it to draw
I
3
know,
cards.
but the ooze doesn't have haste, so it's like
No, I guess it's like a
just sitting
backup.
around.
Like if you have a news in play, but they exile like your Scourge Familiar and your Asmodeus, then you can get Arcanus in the graveyard, and then that's like still, I guess, good. Maybe that's the plan.
yeah, we'll have to ask Magnus after all the things are said and done. Whoa. Okay, Duress hitting a persist is pretty good for the mono black
Yeah.
player. Not as good of a start as Dark Ritual into Slasher, but
We see,
it
yeah, they were left with a pair of lands, a Buried Alive, and an Unmarked Grave. So they don't currently have any reanimation spells.
But Buried Alive is a reanimation spell in its own right, because you find a Priest of Fell Rites. In fact,
Yes.
Unmarked Grave here is a reanimation spell. It's a bit slower than you would want it to be, but probably gets the job done if you like find a Void Winnower or something.
Here we see a Bitter Blossom, which I guess will technically be relevant later, but for the time being, I don't think it's too much of an issue.
For sure. Now, one thing to note here, this Buried Alive is kind of risky. I'm wondering if Magnus is supposed to get not the combo, if Magnus is supposed to get something else, because you already have a reanimation effect in your graveyard. Roboton's going to have some amount of graveyard hate. You don't want to let your entire game plan get eaten in one fell swoop.
Yeah, that's interesting. And funnily enough, like, the Sire of Insanity actually doesn't really do anything here because Bitter Blossom is uniquely good against it.
I mean, the 6/4 is not the point of the Sire of Insanity.
Yeah, I mean it does something, right? But I think like the idea normally with Sire is like both players have nothing, and then like a 5/3 is good, and it would still be good. It would just be a lot less good in this case.
True.
I got when I played against Magnus. They had a turn 2 Sire against me, and that did not work out too well.
Yeah, the only way to beat a turn 2 Sire is with a turn 1 Phyrexian Arena. Or, I was gonna say Doomblade, but that doesn't work.
No, it does not.
Ultimate Price also does not work. Disfigure does not work. I don't think there's any commonly played removal spells that would actually deal with the Sire of Insanity before the trigger goes on the stack.
I think you're right. I guess if it gets persisted, there's like 2 mana deal threes, but
Yeah, it's a good shout, like Incinerate.
and here's a
Okay,
slasher.
so
This is a real clock now.
yeah, there's the Slasher, and importantly, the Slasher got ritualed out. So this tells me that Roboton probably has at least one of the Erebos' interventions in hand, which makes the first reanimation from Magnus over here, it's gonna be tough, I think,
Yeah,
for Magnus to get there.
I think
Especially now that the Erebos' intervention can eat the entire, like all of the relevant parts of the graveyard. X=2 hits the priest, the Asmodeus, the ooze, and the other priest that you used to get back the ooze.
I think yeah, I think this is just going to be it. Especially like if you go for the priest and it doesn't work, then you're down to 4 and you're just dead on board.
True.
But if you don't go for the priest, like what are you doing?
I guess they're not quite dead on board. They go to 1 if they do nothing.
Yeah, but like if you do nothing, you just have the same problem next turn anyway, so it doesn't really help you.
This sure looks like somebody who's selecting modes and cards in graveyards. Although, if the only thing in Roboton's hand is like an Archenemy's Charm or something, then Magnus does get to win through that, because you can discard 3 cards for 3 mana, and you can tap your lands for 3 mana. So you win through instant speed interaction here.
Okay, we're casting something. Wait a sec. Oh,
Oh,
never mind. Okay.
Yep. There you go. I guess they were just deciding if they want to get rid of the priests or if they wanted to get rid of the Scourge Familiar. Like, if it were me, this makes sense. I think I don't think that there's really any way that you lose this from this position.
Yeah, this duress is not gonna help,
Yeah, a little too late, unfortunately.
and that's gonna do it. Wow, mono black, 2-1 over Necroticus into the finals.
Beautiful.
I'm wrong again.
Why did they not play Duress before the animation?
If you play the Duress and you see 2 Archenemy's Charm, then you can't go for it because you don't have enough mana plus cards in hand. That said, I personally definitely would have cast the Duress first, just to figure out what I'm going up against. Like, if there's not a whole lot in hand, maybe you can unmarked grave something else into the yard, like a Sarah's Emissary, by a couple more turns.
Alright, it looks like we've had Free Spot mulligan to 5 cards here, and Coop has kept 7. Which could be rough, though of course the starts can be so fast that, you always have a chance. Ooh. And a turn 1 Preacher. So now we will see, is there an end of the hunt? There is not, it's another tap land. And,
That's brutal.
I mean, yeah, like we said, these April mirrors, they take a long time, but they can end very fast. Or they can... We can know the outcome very fast, perhaps, is a better way of putting it.
Yeah, the double tap lands here are rough.
The game is not over yet, but it's definitely an uphill battle.
I'm still trying to figure out why this preacher has death touch.
Okay, so here's how first pop fights back, right?
No. I
Like
think
the way
that's-
you fight back is with a dark ritual into April, but
I bet-
Spellpierce will stop that one.
I bet they had the April already, but we're just stuck with 2 tap lands and couldn't cast it on 2, which is brutal.
Yeah, like if you match the turn 1 Preacher with the turn 2 Dark Ritual into April, then suddenly it's no longer hopeless. Suddenly you're actually in a pretty good spot.
And Free Spot missed a land drop there too, so this is spiraling very fast.
Yeah, I mean, it's still not over, right? Like, you cast an end the hunts, stop the bleeding. A 1/1 lifelink is not necessarily the end of the world.
That's true.
Play your own creature. I guess the question for you, Defiance, if Poop attacks, do you block?
You have to, right? Like, you're not going to be drawing cards if you attack back, so... Like, if this
Well-
Preacher isn't trading for their Preacher, then I don't know what it's really doing.
Oh, that's an excellent point. Yeah. 3 mana, murder, sorcery speed, suspend 1, baby.
It looks like they are going to get to block, unless we're just waiting on an instant speed spell. Okay, so... Oh, they go for the Vampire token. Interesting. I don't think I like that play, but I don't know.
Yeah, surely First Pop knows that they're not drawing cards here, right?
Yes. Oh my, and the end must have been drawn off the Preacher, right? Because otherwise you play it first? Wow.
Yeah. Okay,
That's
okay.
Okay, here we go.
That's a good way to kind of get back in the game. April draw 2 and suddenly you're at card not quite at parity because there's a tutor in suspend, but if this April lives, you will be drawing more cards than Coop.
I wonder if they blocked the Vampire token specifically because they wanted to keep it around to bait End of the Hunt. That seems a little ambitious, but I guess it's a line.
Hmm. Yeah, a little bit of insulation. While we get this riveting mirror match gameplay, Just for all the folks who think Nadu is always going to break the format in half, the two Nadu decks hit 17 and 35 respectively in their finishing places. So, you know, not terrible, but
We should ban April. It's too good. Get out of here.
The Dark Ritual going out, that's gonna really hurt that deck.
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But kind of the point here is that everything is contextual. All card power levels must be evaluated within the context of the format they are in. Okay, this spell pierce is interesting. To me, that means Coop doesn't have any other non-creature spells in his hand.
I think that's a very reasonable call. And I think Freeze Pop agrees and doesn't pay for it.
If that had been an end of the hunt, we might have been okay. As is, nope. This Profane
Yeah, this
Tutor's coming
tutor.
off suspend. April's gonna come down, draw 2 cards.
You could
and-
even just get Invoke Despair here and put him to 1 and just be like, figure it out.
Yeah. It's not great into the like. I like the April line specifically because it beats Spell Pierce.
That's true. That's a good point.
I don't know. If I were playing this deck though, and I had the opportunity to invoke Despair somebody who had nothing in play, I don't know if I could resist.
It is hard. But I think you do make a good point about the Spell Pierce.
Coop, which way would you like to execute this final game? Like, there's even some argument for just getting a forbid and then passing.
I wonder what this is.
Is this like a mistake? Okay, well,
Okay.
sure. Yeah,
Let's
I
get a look at the
like this
hand.
too. You've already got your busted card advantage engine in play.
It feels like we are nearing the end then. I don't see how Free Spot can come back from this.
Damnation.
That would be. Yeah, if Free Spot untaps and casts Damnation, I don't know what I will do, but I will do something for you.
Well, I mean, that would be the fastest route to a Coop win.
That's true. That's true.
Our lovely viewers at home, Damnation is not legal in Penny Dreadful at
Yes.
season 42. But, you know, stick around for season 50 and you never know. Okay, I guess Coop decided the answer was, why not both? We're going to take a look at the hand, and then we're going to cast the Gearhulk. Then we're going to cast the April, and draw right back up to 7 cards in hand.
Draw 4 cards, wow. Yeah, and we can sympathize with Free Spot. I mean, these mirrors can be grindy and really intensive, but you do just have games where, like, your opponent just has the draw and you can't find the right answers or the right threats to get on board first, and it can be rough.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Oil Deep does stabilize, but the problem here is not stabilizing.
Yeah.
The problem here is that you're about to get crushed.
So here's the draw step, and if there's any removal, then we're into the finals.
Let me take a look at these 8 cards that I have in my hand.
Any removal, a land, and then an arcane proxy could flashback the Hagra Mauling. So tons and tons of options.
You can't pay for ward though.
Oh, it does have ward, you're right. Oh, what a card.
Yeah. Weirdly, the best. Okay, I guess the green white Gearhulk also very good. Ah, but you know what does pay for reward?
The third Dark Ritual.
Oh yeah. The land doesn't even need to be untapped.
I feel like Deerhulk really did a lot to tie this deck together, like to beat aggro decks. Like this card is
Mm,
such a house against like the red decks. You get to look at their hand, you can take up Rise of Progress, and then they can just like never kill this.
mm-hmm. 4 toughness is so good. And then the lifelink. Okay. Coop decided to take it a little slower here. Put on the brakes. Probably just get in with everything that trades fashion favorably with the Oracle. And then as long as you deal at least 5 damage in this attack, then the 2 carpets will get the job done next turn.
Yep, there we go.
So no, damnation no longer an out.
And a duress for good measure. We're not going to court today.
Oh boy.
We are dodging jury. I don't know. That didn't really.
No jury duty here. You know, the jury is out, but I don't think we really need them for a verdict to make this.
That was so much better than what I had. Good job. Get to take a look with this tutor, but I don't know. What can you even get here?
Devious cover up, I guess, is our version of damnation.
Yeah.
Like,
Is freeze
Zero
mob?
point ball.
Are they even on it?
Does it? No, it doesn't work.
yeah, 0 point ballad, you would have to cast X equals 5 to clear the board, and then you're still dead to the targets. Like, I think the only cards legal here that would work is Aether Spouts, and hope they don't have a Spell Pierce. Or hope that their power goes out and they're not able to reconnect in the next 3 minutes and 23 seconds.
Let's see if they got Raven Eagle is what they've gone for.
Okay.
And
That
don't
gains a
think
life.
it gains 1 life. Unfortunately, 1 is about 8 too little here.
Yeah. One carpet.
So it looks like that's gonna do it.
2 carpets.
And there we have it. So finals: April versus Mono Black. I guess we will get that up in just a second once they start. So we're into the finals. We have an April player at 5 a.m. somehow still awake and functional. I couldn't do this. Much credit to them. If I had to play a finals at 5 a.m., I would lose for sure. But here we are against Mono Black. Looks like who is on the play? April. So as far as the matchup goes, I mean both decks are doing fairly similar things. They're trying to get their creatures out as fast as they can, and ideally dodge removal spells. In general, April's going to be better at this because you have April, which is better against some of the sorcery speed removal, like End of the Hunt, whereas cards like Preacher or Obliterator are very bad against End of the Hunt. And we in fact see one of those taken right away. Though the April hand here is not excellent. We've got a land, a Preacher, a Disfigure, and a Proxy. Disfigure is basically nothing here. I don't think it kills any creatures, or at least not any relevant creatures. A pair of 3-drops, but no third land yet. So we'll be waiting to see if they're able to get there in time. Here's a Bitter Blossom for the mono black player. This is kind of good. It presents a threat, but it doesn't demand an immediate answer, which means that Coop may have time to get to something like an April, but they miss a land drop, and that is huge. Unless we actually have miss land drops from both players. So now we are in the waiting zone where we're going to see who gets there first. And it looks like it's Coop who's going to hit a third land drop and play a Preacher. I have to see if there's a removal spell out for Roboton and End of the Hunt. If there's not, this Preacher is going to be very good. If there is, well, we're going to have to keep waiting. Here's a Dark Ritual, actually. Is this going to be an Invoke Despair? That would be amazing. It's just a Gatekeeper, which is going to take out the Breacher. I guess the Blast Zone is a little awkward here then, because that forced the use of the Dark Ritual to cast it. No plays for the April player. That's a very bad sign. The deck is almost all sorcery speed, or at least all the good cards are. So no plays here suggests that there's not a lot going on. Yeah, and we see a Disfigure, which does something, but not a lot. Gonna see Blast Zone tick up. Funnily enough,
Where does that blast zone want to be? 4?
yeah, either 3 or 4. And here's an Obliterator. It's kind of funny. Game 1 is where Bitter Blossom is at its worst, because cards like Plague Engineer and Path of Peril may still be in the deck where they're almost certainly going to get cut. You might keep, I guess, 1 post board for situations like this, but in general, those cards are quite bad here. But if Coop finds one, it'll actually be quite good, though at this point, I think the game is just about over. The mana base is awkward here. We know Coop has an Arcane Proxy in hand, which would let them cast this End of the Hunt and take out the Obliterator. but with no untapped second blue, that's not possible. And it looks like game one is going to go pretty fast. Okay, here's a Dark Ritual. I guess this is an Invoke, maybe, or...
0 point. No.
I mean, 0 point for 5 would kill you, so that's probably not a great idea.
You use life.
Yeah. I guess Proxy here, but Proxy's not good enough, because there's just an end of the hunt, so that's the end of game one.
Yeah.
Invoke, I guess just for good measure. Not needed, but sure. Alright, so we go to game two with Mono Black up a game. I gotta say, I'm a little surprised Mono Black made it here. I kind of thought it wasn't the best deck, it wasn't the greatest, but yeah, here we are.
Yeah, I thought it had a bad matchup against Twin and April.
It certainly may, but
if you get a obliterator down early, that could be a real problem for Twin.
yeah. I mean, I think Mono Black is one of the decks where you have a chance against everyone, right? Because your best starts are so good. And your threats can be hard to disrupt if they're not or if your threats aren't answered right away, they often take over the game. Like Preacher kind of has to be killed right away. So like yeah, I do believe Mono Black is not favored against April. I've played the matchup a couple times and that backs that up, but it's always winnable. So
So sideboarding, what happens?
both players actually, I believe I can pull up the Mono Black list or what it probably is because they have played this deck before. For April, you're going to be bringing in, well, you're going to be cutting stuff like Path of Peril if you have it in the main deck, and Disfigure, bringing in potentially Spell Pierce. Duress definitely comes in, and then if you have card advantage like Court of Lochthwain, that's a good option. I hope neither player brings in Lost Legacy because I really believe that they shouldn't. But I think people are always overeager to bring in Lost Legacy, and this is a matchup where you shouldn't do it, but it may happen. Mono Black is going to do a very similar thing because the sideboard is actually going to be very similar. They're going to have like Palantirs that can come in, more Duresses, potentially a Winter Moon, which might be able to snipe something good. Looks like we've got 7 for both players. Looks like a pretty good hand for Coop here, who is getting to rest. There's a Profane Tutor. I kind of think Profane Tutor's got to be the pick here. It's probably just the best card in the hand. There is an Oil Deep Gear Hulk, which can be cast off this Dark Ritual on 2 because of Sunken Ruins. And there's an End of the Hunt, which will answer whatever Roboton's first creature is. And they go for End of the Hunt. That is odd to me. So what that suggests is that they have like a good creature that they want to cast. But I guess it's decently likely then that they have Dark Ritual because otherwise, Coop would be able to deal with it on curve anyway. So we may see a creature come out fast here. And it looks like Coop's just going to go for Dark Ritual and Gear Hulk. Unfortunately, I don't think we get to see the hand off this ability because it's look and not reveal, and so that doesn't count for us as spectators. But we'll see. I'm a little surprised they went for this as well because it delays the Profane Tutor. If they suspend it next turn, then they're going to be waiting until turn 5 to get it. And I'm not sure what they're going to do in the meantime. They opt to take a Preacher. And there is a Dark Ritual. Oh, is this an Invoke? It's gotta be, right? There is Invoke. I wonder if one of those cards was drawn for turn or off the ability. Because I feel like you would have taken one of those if you'd seen it. Yep, this is going to be a suspended Profane Tutor. At this point, I think we know Coop has one land in hand and one unknown card. Yes. Here's a Bitter Blossom. Though, in this position, I think Bitter Blossom is much less impactful because this Profane Tutor can get something good, like an April, to generate the card advantage needed to work through it. And we're just going to see a Tar Pit attack. And there's a Profane Tutor as well for Roboton. But now we get to resolve this. I think very high likelihood you just get April here. Or I guess you could get an Invoke, which would take care of the Bitter Blossom if that's something that you're worried about.
Shout out to Coop playing at 5 a.m. in Poland.
Yeah, very committed, which I respect. And it is going to be April. I think I like that idea. Gets 2 cards, demands an answer. You can find Invoke eventually. There's Winter Moon. I did suspect that this card might come in. I actually played against Mono Black today where they tutored for Winter Moon when I had like 5 non-basics in play, which was so brutal. I did actually win that game though because they didn't have any threats at all, so I had time to like draw into basics. I tutored for a basic swamp with Profane Tutor, which was kind of funny. But in Coop's position, actually, they're in a much better position because with 2 swamps already, like, the Winter Moon does stop them from getting enough mana to do a lot, but they don't, like, that's just not that big of a deal. I think they're more worried about getting cards right now. And the fact that there was no threat nor answer from the mono black side for April, I think bodes very well.
They can play more spells and to find more basics.
Yeah, absolutely. But they cast nothing, which is interesting. I wonder what that means. That could mean their hand is really bad. Like they just have like 3 lands. Or it could mean they have like Forbid and they want to counter something. We are getting to the point where this Bitter Blossom is like an actual problem. Because even if you kill it, you still have to deal with the tokens. Here's an End of the Hunt. We will see if they have the Forbid. Or if that's just going to resolve. Okay, it looks like it is Forbid here. Or, oh, I guess it's double Spell Pierce. That's not great, because you get to keep your April, but like, if you're not casting any spells, it's just a 1/5.
Do you think the April deck still has 0 point ballad?
I probably. It's not a great card here, but it's probably good enough that you could keep one as a tutor target. And if the game goes long, like, bringing a creature back can actually be decently relevant, so... Ooh, Gearhulk is actually pretty good here, because the lifelink, if nothing else, the lifelink will hold off these tokens. Let's see if they discard a card. They take an Obliterator, okay. So I think Coop is looking favored here, but it is close. And there's an Invoke. Is there another Spears? Oh, there's a third Spears. Incredible.
You were saying Spears was bad in this matchup. I mean, I agree. It does seem bad, but it's.
Well, I think it's debatable. It's very swingy, is what I mean. I think it's actually better against mono black than in the April Mirror, because the mono black games tend to just go faster because the black deck plays more aggressive threats, which makes Spears better, even though Spears is bad against the threats themselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
here's a Preacher. And another card drawn off April. I wonder how close we are to like activate Tomb of Arami and pray.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I'm right for once. Oh, look at that! I called it right before it happened instead of getting wrong. That's awesome. Because the thing is, this can actually block the Gear Hulk and kill it, which stops the lifelink, and then it can also pressure and kill you. So we're all in on this demon, but if it works out, if it survives, like it could just end this game. Actually, funnily enough, End of the Hunt actually doesn't work here because all the tokens are the same cost. So if you proxy an End of the Hunt, they just get rid of a fairy. That could actually be really big. Yeah, you know what? This demon might actually just do it.
Yeah, how does Coop kill the demon?
Uh, Hagramale? I mean, with difficulty is the answer. Although, what I'm actually looking at here is some sort of tar pit race where it sounds like I'm getting feedback from someone. I don't know if anyone can identify who that is. I don't know if that's at all fixable. Yeah, so it looks like we're gonna get both tar pits activated. That's gonna hit for 6. The Bitter Blossom is then gonna put you to 3, and you're actually threatening to kill with it next turn potentially. Yeah, just attack with everyone. I don't hate this idea. I think Depressed Duck, we might be getting a little feedback from you. I don't know if you can.
Okay.
I don't know if there's anything that might be causing that. I don't want to, like. I don't know. We weren't getting it before. I don't know if something happened. It just started, like, 30 seconds ago. Um, yeah, so Roboton is down to 2 here, and the Tar Pit actually can't attack next turn unless there's an untapped blue source. And Roboton's only going to go to 1 from the Bitter Blossom. So it's actually possible that they pull this out with the demon. But there is an untapped blue source, so unless it's like Disfigure, which I highly doubt Disfigure is in the deck, that's going to be game. Alright, we're going to game 3. Let's go. Yeah, yes, the island. Potentially off the top. I don't know. They might have had it the whole time, but the island works out, I guess, there.
What do you think about Winter Moon in this matchup?
Um, I don't hate having one in because if you can tutor for it, then like you can sometimes get them. But I think in general it's pretty low impact. I think that most April lists are on around 8 basics, which makes it fine. Like it's just hard to justify something that doesn't like actually pressure your opponent. You know, like either pressure or answer one of their threats in this kind of matchup where like every creature is so good. All right, and we're into the last game of the day. I will point out Koopa's actually, I believe, in the finals of the last 500 as well, and lost there. So they've got one game here to get redemption and win at 500. But back-to-back finals is already very impressive. Looks like we're debating mulligan decisions here. Mulliganing in this kind of matchup is very difficult because you really want to feel like you can deal with a good start from your opponent, right? You want to look for stuff like end of the hunt, but you also worry that like if you mulligan low and they have duress and they just like rip apart your hand and you don't have enough cards to like assemble an engine, like maybe you miss a fourth land drop or something, that could be really disastrous. So it's hard to balance it, and you just sometimes you have to keep a mediocre hand and just hope that they don't have it and you're going to be able to get there. And there is a duress on one. We're going to see a Dark Ritual, a Spell Pierce, a Profane Tutor, and 3 lands. I imagine we're going to take the tutor here. Goes after the Spears. Interesting. That potentially suggests a Bitter Blossom on 2, or potentially Invoke Despairs. Oh, here we go. What's it going to be? It's an Obliterator on 2. This is a very aggressive play, because the tutor is going to get to be suspended, which will be able to find removal before the Obliterator would kill. If Roboton is sitting on like a third land and a 3-drop, like a slasher, this is excellent, because that applies too much pressure for a removal on 4 to be enough to win. But with only 2 cards, they are very committed to this aggressive plan here. Another duress. Oh my goodness. We had Invoke and Dark Ritual in the hand. So next turn was going to be brutal if it wasn't for this duress. The Despair was going to take out the Obliterator and draw 2 cards, and then there'd be a tutor coming off, which would just be brutal. But that is not going to happen. And it is going to be a missed land drop for mono black, which means potentially they have a 3-mana creature, but we can't count on it. And if there isn't one that gets played next turn, this tutor could just go find another Invoke, take care of the Obliterator, and draw 2 cards, and that would be a huge swing here. Hit for another 5. Is there a play? There's a suspended tutor. Okay. So we are likely going to see this tutor get an Invoke and then get cast off the ritual. That's I think that's going to put Coop pretty solidly ahead. It's even possible that the tutor out of Roboton is forced to go get a swamp just to cast a spell, which would limit the number of relevant plays they could have. So I think April's in a very good position here to take it down. Yep, and it looks like that is what we're going to see. So once again, we will see if Roboton can find that 3rd land. No luck again. It's another pass. And now, on your upkeep, you have the probably responsible decision of going and getting your land with the Profane Tutor. But if you had just hit it here, you would have been able to go get another relevant card. And April too. Oh, this is looking better and better for April. Now you might, like, I guess you just have to get into the hunt to take care of the April and just hope you draw the land in your draw step. I guess you could already have removal in your hand and then you don't need to worry about it, but... And there's a charm. Is there a Spears? No. Here's a Preacher, so another threat. Not entirely the best one because the 2 Obliterator hits do mean that it won't be drawing cards. But still, it's going to trade for something, and when you're up in cards, you do just want to trade for stuff. Here's a Bitter Blossom, which is actually vulnerable to this Blast Zone. Very happy to see Blast Zone doing well. I think I mentioned it before, this is like my one contribution to this deck. I think I was the first person to play Blast Zone, so I'm happy to see it performing well. It looks like they didn't put counters on the Blast Zone. Interesting. But another Gear Hulk, and the pressure is mounting here. It's looking good for April. Gonna take the Obliterator. And there's another land, which also means that the Hull is online next turn. Here's a Duress. I don't know if that's going to save you. Ooh, it was Spear's Forbid. Interesting. Gonna take the Spears, wow. In order to resolve this Palantir. But I think it's just too little too late. You can take damage once, attack back, they take 7. They go to 6, they go to 5 on the upkeep. Yeah, I think we might be seeing the end of the game in just a turn or two. They're not going to animate the Hull. They do have Forbid, so holding up Forbid is, I think, a completely fine play here. We see a chump on the Gear Hulk, which doesn't leave lethal next turn. But this Forbid means that, like, you're not going to get randomly got by whatever they could have. Tutor. Do you take the damage? I think you take the damage. And they hit 2 lands. Okay, perfect. Now you don't have to worry about it. Actually, this is just it. If you animate the hull and they don't have anything, they block the hull, they take 8, they go to 1, and then the Bitter Blossom kills them. I think if they go for it, they just have it. Oh, but they're not going to go for it. So we're going to see another turn here. Deciding what to do. I mean, forbid is surely enough, right? You have forbid, you can even buy it back, so you get 2 things countered. I think it really doesn't matter what you do here. Roboton is going through their options, finds nothing, says GG, and that's gonna do it. So, in just a second, Cabooses, with Dimir April, wins the 500. Congratulations. As well as Roboton for coming second place. Everyone else in the event. Yeah, good stuff. April was really, really good. That's gonna do it for me. I'm not gonna go through the top 8 because we already saw the decks in the matches, and it's getting late. It's of course especially late for Caputus, who has won this event, I believe, at 5:30, which is very impressive. But it's late for me as well. So I'm gonna head out. Thanks everyone for being here. I'll see you in 2 weeks, I guess, probably.
Thanks a lot. Good job on the commentary. Well done.
Thank you. All right, take care. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Yep. See ya.